Are you ready? Aquarius new moon. It's time to rock and roll. Hello, my beautiful friends. So we have some exciting kinds of things going on. I welcome all of you to my YouTube channel, and please don't forget to subscribe and share and leave comments, like, thumbs up, if my videos are working for you. And I'm hoping that I'm sharing messages that will give hope and a better understanding of the energies that we're working with. I'm a professional astrologer and a psychotherapist and an early childhood educator and been a lifetime student and teacher. I had hoped and have known since, 40 years ago when I first started learning about my chart that I learned about this time. I had hoped that I could be here to participate. Let's talk about what's coming up. We are looking at the Aquarius new moon on January 29th. There's some interesting things. I like to take my markers and put, the positive aspects and highlighted in pink, and then the challenging stuff in either yellow or orange, depending on, my mood at the time. And when I outlined the pink in this birth chart for the Aquarius new moon on January 29th, it comes up with a Star of David. There's some interesting gifts that will be coming to us by January 29th. The next day we have Uranus direct on the 30th. And that also has an interesting aspect to it, particularly for those of us on the West Coast in Pacific time. It's going to occur at 11:22 a.m. So those of you who study numerology, 11 is a master teacher healer number. 22 is just a major expansion of that kind of teacher healer leader type of energy. So 11:22 is significant. So we'll talk about Uranus direct here in a bit. But the new moon is new beginnings. New moons actually are a time where we go inside. 2 weeks before, we had the full moon, Cancer full moon, January 13th, which we're still under the influence. Cancer full moon was very, very powerful and brought, a lot of gifts and the things that most Americans, particularly, and those that love us, the people, and in the world, that we're starting to get little trickles of information about what's going on globally and what's going on a little bit with our government. There were some gifts, particularly for Tauruses. There's a lot of gifts this week, and the earth signs, Capricorns, are receiving some really good news, Virgo as well, potentially. So let's start with the good news. The Star of David has the planet Uranus in Taurus and Sedna. And Sedna is an asteroid that is very Saturn-like. So the feminine quality representing kind of an advocate for those that are in need, looking to create new rules and regulations, new authority in relation to what's going on. So a lot of communications going on from Sedna to Uranus in Taurus, trining Pallas Athena, the warrior priestess. So a lot of strategizing going on in the world, because Uranus is more of a global planet. But Pallas Athena, the warrior priestess, the purveyor of the arts, is in the sign of Capricorn. And that's an exact trine. So there's some serious strategizing going on behind the scenes. And I wouldn't be surprised if there aren't some women involved, because we've got now two of the asteroids. Pallas Athena, she's the purveyor of the arts. She's the warrioress strategist. But she will also fight. She will go out and fight for the rights of others, fight for women's rights. And the completion of this triangle or grand trine is the south node in Virgo at 29 degrees. The north node just moved into Pisces, south node in the opposite side of the moon. The south node of the moon in the opposite sign of Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign. Virgo energy is about paying attention to the details, doing the work. It's a practical application. Virgo energy is very much about health and creating balance and doing a good job, and taking care of ourselves and providing, Earth's kind of structures that will also serve our needs for stability and security. So this is a beautiful Earth trine with the planet Uranus, Sedna, Pallas Athena, warrior priestess, warrior strategist, and purveyor of the arts in the sign of Capricorn, and the South Node in Virgo. Particularly on the West Coast, these planetary energies are around. Uranus is in the house of communications. Pallas Athena is behind the scenes, is in the 12th house, and very close to Pluto, conjunct Mercury, conjunct the Sun. Although Pallas Athena doesn't go as far as the Sun, that's at 9 degrees, but her energies are being done behind the scenes. The powers that be are doing the communication behind the scenes on what are the things that are going to be the best for humanity, for all, not for those few, and dealing with the very dark energies. Being able to negotiate our State Department and advocate for all is a very tricky and challenging balancing act. Yeah, we might want to go out and immediately take these harsh actions, but the South Node says, well, let's wait a minute. Let's see if we can do this in a fine enough, detailed way that this will be lasting, that it will be good, that it will work for everyone, that it'll be healing. Okay, so that's the first trine. The second trine is from Neptune. It's a water trine, so it's emotional. Neptune in Pisces, which is conjunct Venus. So Venus also love and money and values in the sign of Pisces, agape love. She's very comfortable there. So the two are kind of collaborating okay, there's so much need, there's been so much deception and loss. How do we make this right? Venus holds very high values. These are in the money. Venus and Neptune are in the money house, also conjunct the North Node in Pisces. And that's a pretty tight. Neptune and the North Node, just 2 degrees apart. Venus to the North Node is 5, but it's still orb of influence. The powers that be are really looking at how do we negotiate for the needs of all, particularly for the needs of people. How do we clear up the deceptions? Well, the first trine, there's actually 2 very powerful trines. I would give more weight to Mars in Cancer. And so Venus, Neptune, and the North Node, which is dharmically what we're here to do. The South Node is kind of the practical things that we've done in the past, but we want to fall back on that when what we need to do is to step into faith with the North Node in Pisces. And so Venus, Neptune, North Node are trining Mars in Cancer. So Mars is retrograde still in this chart. He's still kind of gathering facts and not really sure and needs to do a lot of collaboration. Security issues are really, really high. He's got to rely on maybe the energies of the other trine to be able to take action. What Mars wants to do is do more research before he takes action. But there is trying to very courageous Juno. Juno is an asteroid that represents commitment, and we do have allies. So commitments to our allies. She's traveling in Scorpio, and so takes that stuff very seriously. She also represents abuse and betrayal. In the mythology, Juno was betrayed by Zeus. He did not take that very well. So she has come to represent particularly marriage commitment and or commitments, and I would say treaties, allies, those kinds of commitments. There is a desire, and she's going to fight for and demand that there are very powerful assertive actions and possibly financial actions. So there's a lot of negotiation going on, again, behind the scenes with all the Pisces energy and Mars in Cancer retrograde. But now that we have this beautiful Star of David on the Aquarian new moon with that other grand trine with the planet Uranus at the apex, he's almost stopped. So that gives even more power to this particular grand trine. The new moon is actually what we we see is, the sun and moon in Aquarius, all of this Aquarius energy. So we've got Pluto in Aquarius, Mercury in Aquarius. Pluto is death, rebirth, major transformation. Mercury is just 1 degree away, so he's what we call combust. Anything 3 degrees apart would still be combust, where it's the mind and the 2 planets combined, so they're operating as one. There's intense behind the scenes negotiations and concerns and discussions back and forth and all over the place on what to do. What are we going to do here? And then you have the sun at 9 degrees and you have the moon at 11. And on the West Coast, the sun is in the 12th house and the moon, well, the moon is also at 9. My little computer program kind of bumped it ahead a little bit. But so they would both be actually in the 12th house of this chart. Again, the 12th house is Pisces house. And it's the house of the unconscious. It's the house of, hidden institutions. And so this is hidden kinds of negotiations that are going on. And the strategies around those negotiations are absolutely being energized in a big way. So what's left are Saturn in Pisces, he's kind of being left behind, and he's being actually challenged by Jupiter. There's a square by Jupiter to Saturn, and Jupiter's still retrograde, so she's kind of pushing Saturn to stop dilly-dallying around, because she's got all kinds of solutions, and you need to just authority. Saturn is our authority figures, and the sign of Pisces is the softening of that Capricornian energy. Take care of the needs of those that are suffering. And so she's saying, here's all kinds of ways to be able to do that, but you need to act. And right now, Saturn's still not quite sure he wants to act. The other planetary energies will support action. So chances are good that with the new moon, we're not going to exactly quite get what it is that we're wanting. On this day, too, January 29th, is also the Lunar New Year and the wood snake. And so this is another, I'm not, a really good Chinese astrology person, but for those of you that were born in, the year of the wood snake, this will be your year. What I'm wanting to do now is shift into the Uranus direct chart, because this is going to be a continuation. Only there's going to be a few shifts in energies. And the Uranus direct chart on the West Coast absolutely shifts out of all of the stuff being done behind the scenes and in secret to Pluto, Mercury, the Sun, Ceres, and the Moon are all up in the 10th house. So this is very powerful energy of exposure, of communication, of negotiation, of looking at security issues. Mars is actually trining Saturn, Venus, and Neptune to a certain degree in Pisces. So humanitarian issues, concerns, financial concerns, just needs for those who are in war-torn or environmental disaster areas like LA and or earthquakes or tsunamis or flooding or any fire areas, any of those people where there are losses, we will be looking at the need to help these people meet their needs. The planet Uranus is in the 1st house. So again, it's an indication of shocking news, shocking perspectives. There's several grand trines that are happening with Jupiter and Gemini. And Jupiter is stationing. He's getting ready to, he's already slowing down as well. And so I think we're getting to a place where sometimes there can be too many options with Gemini energy. It's like you get really scattered and it's like, oh, this looks interesting. And then, oh, this looks interesting. I had 30 years of my son progressing through Gemini. So I understand the energies as a Taurus who likes to have things, grounded and know what you're doing. It was like I had way too much going on, too many interesting things to see and learn, and groups to hang out with and all that. So that's the other thing with my chart. I have planets in almost every sign. I do have a plethora of Aries planets and Leo rising, Pluto first house. So there's a lot more. I'm probably one of the fastest moving Tauruses on the planet. Yeah. So this Gemini energy can be a little bit scattered, but I think there's going to be good news by the end of the day with this energy. Jupiter is actually definitely trining the sun exact. Jupiter's trining Ceres as well. And this energy is just, it's expansive. It's like, oh, so Jupiter communicates, and Gemini, he really communicates. So these energies are very, very powerful in being able to be very public. The first house in a chart is the public persona. The 10th house is the career reputation and public reputation. And that's where these energies are, very powerful. Most of the planetary energies in this particular chart are in the 10th house of public reputation, career, the 11th house of attending to humanitarian environmental needs for those who have lost a lot. And then the 12th house, Chiron, is in there with Eris, the instigator of change, the rebel. Eris is Mars's sister. Mars is male energy and very aggressive, and she's the feminine side of that energy. And Hygeia, the medical intuitive, psychic surgeon. She knows surgically what to insert in any life situation and what to extract. What's no longer working, let's pull that out. Let's get rid of that. We have Uranus in Taurus. In the first house, Sedna, and she's the asteroid that is very Saturn-like. She wants for things to be structured, definitely traveling through Gemini, so having to consider lots of restructure, lots of new energies. That energy is conjunct part of fortune. So part of our restructuring is to find our joy, reclaim our joy, and not let anyone take it away from us. The most important thing for the dark energies on the planet that are trying to take it over are that they want us to live in fear, depression, and those kinds of energy. Part of fortune is also conjunct Jupiter. It's wide, but it's there. So we can come up with ways to create peace in our lives, to have peace, but we may also have peace and joy because we're finally seeing some justice happening. I was shocked to see Uranus, when he goes direct, is at 1122. So this is, to me, another of those indications with these two master numbers that the truth will come out, that things are moving forward, that the healers and teachers are working hard. We all need to support them. We all need to become healers and teachers. We are all the ones we are waiting for. So hold the vision, see the light, see the life that we want to create, and know that each and every one of us, if we are alive and kicking on the planet at this time, came in to be part of an ascension, to move away from deception and lies and abuses and patriarchal power, to lift up women. And women are finding our voices. We're not going to go back. And on so many levels, women are not going to go back. And the men that love us, my husband has said for many, many years, I like moxie women. So it's time for us to find our moxie. It's time for us to find our moxie and be with the men, or the whatever. It doesn't matter the gender. We all carry male, female within us. It doesn't matter. LGBTQ, or non-binary. It doesn't matter. We can find those souls who absolutely see and love and adore us, and be with them and play and celebrate. That energy will just make these other energies, other souls, kind of crazy. So, it's time for us to also not go into demonizing them. It's time for us to send compassion. I mean, I've been trying to send love to certain people for a lot of years, and I found it hard, but it's like my heart has been opened wide, and they have served those that are operating in the dark energies, have served to show us our ugly, unhealed energies. And it is of the toxic masculine energies that have been in control. And I mean, this is not a male female thing. We all have carried it and have allowed it. Part of the transformation, part of the shift to be able to move into the higher energies, the fifth dimension, the healing, is to release those toxic male and female energies. Women are pretty passive aggressive when, men and women are passive aggressive. When our power is taken away, it goes underground. As we reclaim our power, our life force, our joy, our passion, we are able to step into the divine masculine and feminine within each one of us. So astrologically, that's what the planets are talking about. Absolutely. And it does cover politics. I've kind of been a political creature because I've been watching this, because I've been studying it for 40 years. It's time. So thanks for checking in. I send light and love to all of you, and I send light and love to the leaders of the world who are trying to figure out a new way forward, how to deal with this, and to those souls that have suffered and are suffering, those souls who have given their lives to be part of this time of ascension. Much love to all of those. Much love to our ancestors. Much love to those on the other side that are here supporting the healers and teachers that are speaking out at this time. I send light and love and protection for them, as well as for those who are working so hard on our behalf in the world. So take care of yourself. Remember to ground. Remember to breathe. Get out in nature. Get into some good trouble. Find your joy. Find your passion. And let this other stuff play out. Let it go. Don't let it steal your light, because that's what they want. Love you all. I'll see you next time.